Hey guys, been a while. I am now settled in Tokyo, and I'm a little bit sick, so forgive the voice. But the purpose of this video is, of course, not that. It is about the special summoning event coming up. There is another ancient banner coming up on the weekend of the 18th of November, and it will be including a 10x on Laya and Ghan. Unfortunately, I've never had Laya, but I did have Ghan on the Forerunner server, and I've heard a lot about Laya recently on the global server. So let's talk about whether it's worth pulling or not. For me, personally, I'm probably not going to pull, or I'll do my best not to pull. My reasoning is because I'm really holding out for the Twin Fiend banner. I think the Twin Fiend banner is going to be the most beneficial for most players, or a new Lord. I kind of want the new Lords, but these are good Lords. They are definitely both good heroes, but in my opinion, I'll go into this, I'll give you more detail in a minute. In my opinion, they are more kind of end-gamey heroes, more Ghan, to be fair. I think Laya is good generally, but I think most players tend to use Elowin over Laya. And when you have someone like Elowin competing with Laya, it's a bit unfortunate because although she is a good Lord, it's a faction that you're not going to get that much use out of, to be honest. And at least currently, that's going to change in future. They'll add more heroes. So it's definitely not a bad Lord to have. And it has some very nice bonuses on the hero. But for the current game, I think you get more benefit out of some of the other Lords that we haven't had 10x's for on global just yet. This does, however, signal that we're not following the Forerunner server's roster of the 10x banners for the Ancient, because it was Twin Fiend. We followed with the first one, which was Morrigan and Luguru, but after that, Forerunner had Twin Fiend as the banner, and we didn't get Twin Fiend. We instead just had a normal banner, I believe, and then we had different heroes next, and now we've got this. So we're not following the Forerunner. I guess they want to make it less predictable to prevent us from saving for specific heroes we really want. But anyway, I'm going to be saving. I don't think these two are going to do too much for my account personally. Ghan would be really cool because I have a Cerberus. I think if you have a Cerberus, Ghan is insane. Likewise, if you have a Valeria, Ghan is great. If you have a Sargak, I think you need those kind of heroes. So if you want to run a chaotic team, you really need either a Cerberus so that you can use them to do funky stuff in Gear Raid 1 and some in Arena, or you need a Valeria and a Sargak. There are some cool Arena teams that work, but they are very heavy. You do need a lot of the Chaos teams. So if you've got one or two Chaos heroes, and they're not the super powerful one, mainly Valeria, I don't think Ghan is going to do a great deal for you. With Cerberus, you can do some good stuff. So I think Ghan is more of a Wales Lord, really, because you do want the rest of his faction. Laya is good, and we're seeing more use of her in Guild Boss. So let's quickly go over Guild Boss, and let's just have a look to see if other people have made their attacks, and we can have a peek. So as you can see now, in the top rankings of Guild Boss, Boomer and Deegs are now using an A2 Laya. And there's some funky stuff going on here, but basically, if you have a look at the rest of their team, you can see they are using Laurels, both of them. Though Deegs has a Elowin. And if we scroll down a bit more, we can see more of these layers, a whole bunch more of these layers. And again, these three here are all using Laurel. Moonlight is not. He's using a Hollow. But basically, there are now teams where people are running kind of rotational spamming of Rage Restore. So you can see these guys actually, two of them actually have a Hollow as well. So they've got Hollow, Laurel, and Laya. And it's the same up here. There's a Hollow on this one as well. So what they're doing, I believe, is I think they're swapping their layers with their Laurels. So you can see Laya has a maxed Spirit Horn. That way you can drop Laya, immediately ult. She restores a bunch of rage from people. Then you can pull her out and drop in a Laurel and despawn the Laurel. You can, leave your Laya up if you want, or whatever you need to do. But that seems to be one of the developing metas in Guild Boss at the moment, as you can see from the world rankings. And you can see even A0 layers are really, really doing good there. I don't really want to go into the skills too much because that always extends videos by like a good 10 minutes and I don't want to drag it out. Very simply, she restores rage to allies in range as a bulk, like 10% whack up front, and then also for the next 10 seconds afterwards, she restores a bunch of rage as well, down to a 1 second interval and 1.6% rage per second. So it's a very nice amount. You do see a lot of people wishing for A3 because then it will also affect herself. Then you won't really want to despawn her, you can keep her in, and she can just keep spamming up rage really fast. So she'll be very, very good at A3 if you really want to throw your wallet out the window. But even at A1, 5 more seconds is very nice. And even at A0, you are seeing people using her in Guild Boss. So those are the two heroes, Ghan and Laya. Laya, I think, is getting more general use at the moment because she can be used just anywhere as a nice hero that provides rage regen, that provides a damage increase. And she does also heal allies when they ult if they're in range. So there's some nice little things that Laya does, as well as being a normal factions lord, though not a very strong faction. Ghan, on the other hand, he is cool. He's defense scaling. He has some really bursty cleaves. Like this actually could do insane damage. He also has so much defense, you can hit the defense cap on this guy actually quite comfortably. I did it on the Forerunner server without trying. You hit the cap and you realize that you're not able to reduce damage. So do be careful with Ghan. It's quite easy to cap out his damage reduction, and this won't have any effect. It's a bit jank. But he does have some cool effects. He can trigger this when he goes below a certain threshold, and he won't be able to take more than just 10 damage per damage instance, but it's a bit fiddly. It does have a cooldown though, rather than once per deployment, so I think he's nice for that. His awakenings are kind of cool, but they're not insane. So generally, my opinion is, I think they're both good heroes, but in terms of ancient shards and what lords to go for, I would probably prefer most of the other lords. Leia would be very nice. Ghan is exceptionally rare, so I don't think it's bad if you go for them. I think they are good heroes. For me, I'm going to wait for Twin Fiend or Toreador or Elder, because I managed to get Falkia. It wasn't cheap, but yeah, I went for Falkia. Because I really like the idea of breaking the meta, so I want to go for a North team at some point. So if they ever pull up the Elder banner, which I believe was on the Forerunner server, I'll put the picture up if I can find it. If not, I'm just waving. Yeah, I want to go for Elder because I think he could enable a North DPS team, which would be really, really fun. So I'm saving personally, but if you don't, I think Leia is your best bet because we're starting to see some good results from her in Guild Boss. And keeping in mind, we are getting the new Immortal Codex coming out. I keep forgetting about that. So Leia is another healer and a lord, and she provides some healing when allies ult. She provides some rage regen, so she could be very good in the healing stage of Immortal Codex, and Ghan could be pretty good in the tanking stage because he does have a massive amount of block. He provides damage reduction to allies in range, and he has retaliate. So Ghan could actually be very, very good in Immortal Codex. I haven't looked into it too much. I haven't tested or tried it yet myself. I've been quite busy moving, but I suspect Ghan could actually be pretty good in there. So these could both be very good Immortal Codex heroes, and that could be part of the reason they're throwing them at us now. And I know that most of the Chaos heroes, especially Ardea, absolutely crushes that Immortal Codex stage. The one where you've got the barricade and the fighters are, going nuts. So Ghan plus Ardea plus Valeria, I think would be a ridiculous team. Ardea is not released yet, just so you know. She's like the Beyblade chick. But I've heard she's exceptionally good from Forerunner players. So anyway, that's it before I waffle on and don't stop. That's what I really want to say about this banner. I think it's a good banner. I think they are good heroes. I think they probably will be doing better in future. At the moment, Leia is very good in Guild Boss, but more endgame teams that are really tuning around their rage. So be prepared to play about a lot if you want to do that. And Ghan is very good in Arena, but you really do need the rest of his faction to help him out. Or you need a Cerberus, and then you can do some really good stuff in Gear Raid 1 and other content as well. I hope that's interesting to some of you. I hope it helps with your decision. And I wish you the best of luck if you decide to pull this weekend. All the best, guys. Take care, and bye-bye.